Welcome to another AP Human Geography topic walkthrough, brought to you by Mr. Michael, Social Studies teacher. This video is here to help you fill out your lecture notes, understand the big ideas, and maybe even laugh once or twice. So grab your notes and let's get started.
Welcome back, geographers. Today we're diving into topic 2.12, the effects of migration. We've already talked about why people move, but now it's time to figure out what happens after they do. Spoiler alert, migration doesn't just change where people live, it flips economies, societies, and even governments upside down. So let's break it down. What exactly are we learning today? By the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain both historical and modern effects of migration, basically, how people moving around the world has shaped the places they leave and the ones they move to. We'll see how migration connects to political power, cultural identity, and of course, the money moves, aka the economic impact. Speaking of money moves, let's start with the economic effects of migration. When people move, the money moves too, and that's where migration gets economically spicy. For receiving countries, immigrants often fill jobs that locals don't want, especially in industries like agriculture, construction, and service work. Some even start their own businesses, think local shops or restaurants that end up becoming community favorites. Meanwhile, in the countries migrants leave behind, unemployment drops a bit, and remittances, the money migrants send home, boost the economy big time. The Philippines, for example, gets billions every year this way. But there's also the downside, brain drain, when educated or skilled workers leave and don't come back. Fun fact, about a quarter of US doctors were born in another country. Wild, right? But migration isn't just about cash and careers, it also changes who lives where, and how communities look and feel. Let's get into the social and demographic side of things. When migrants show up in a new country, they don't just bring luggage, they bring culture, vibes, and flavor. From food and music to language and art, immigrants majorly influence the cultural landscape. But not everyone always vibes with change, and that can sometimes spark tension or prejudice if the original population feels threatened. Demographically, most core countries today, like those in stage 4 or 5 of the demographic transition model, rely on immigration for population growth. Without it, many would be stuck in population decline. And since most migrants are working-age adults, they help balance out tax systems by supporting both the young and the elderly. Basically, immigrants are low-key keeping the economy and the age pyramid from collapsing. But while receiving countries are getting a cultural remix, what happens to the places people are leaving behind? Let's flip the script and look at the social and demographic effects on countries of origin. When people leave their home country, the social and demographic effects can hit hard. Usually, it's young men heading out to find work, which can throw off the sex ratio, leaving more women, kids, and older people behind. That shift also changes family dynamics, with many households depending on money sent back home instead of having both parents present. You can actually see that imbalance in the population pyramid for Qatar on the right. Notice how the male side is stacked compared to the female side. That's because so many men migrate there for jobs, leaving gaps back home in their own countries. There's also the dependency ratio to think about. With fewer working age adults, the country may struggle to support those who can't work. On the flip side, immigration can bring some relief from overcrowding, especially in areas where jobs and housing are limited. Basically, migration can help and hurt depending on who's leaving and what's left behind. Migration doesn't just change populations, it can shift power too. Let's check out how migration creates ripple effects in politics. Migration doesn't just move people, it moves politics too. Governments often react to immigration with policies that either open doors or slam them shut. Some countries, like Japan or the United States, have passed laws to limit immigration, often because of xenophobia or fear of losing cultural identity. But on the flip side, many countries also create laws to support immigration, like guest worker programs that fill labor gaps or family reunification policies that bring loved ones back together. A historic example of restriction is the Chinese Exclusion Act, which ran from 1882 to 1943. It was the first major U.S. law to severely limit immigration, specifically targeting Chinese laborers, a reminder that migration policies often reflect the politics and prejudices of their time. So, we've seen the economic, social, and political ripples migration creates around the world. Now let's lock it all in. Time for a quick recap. Alright, squad, quick vibes check on what we just learned. Migration isn't just about people moving from point A to point B. It creates a domino effect across the globe. Economically, it shifts jobs, money, and remittances between countries. Socially and demographically, it changes family structures, age ratios, and even cultures. And politically, it can shape laws, spark debates, and literally redefine who gets to belong where. So yeah, migration isn't just movement, it's transformation. And speaking of transformation, let's see if you can connect some dots with this bonus question. So, big brain time. We've talked about how migration impacts economies, societies, and politics, but here's your challenge. Do the effects of migration benefit receiving countries more than countries of origin, or the other way around? Support your answer with evidence from what we covered today. Think remittances, labor markets, demographics, or political policies. Drop your thoughts in the comments and show off that AP level reasoning. Let's see who can make the best argument and back it up with real world examples.